Tony Nese. Anthony Nese, born August 6, 1985, is an American professional wrestler currently signed to WWE, where he performs on the cruiserweight-exclusive 205 Live brand under the ring name Tony Nese. Professional wrestling career. Independent circuit, 2005-2011. Nese made his wrestling debut on September 23, 2005 for the New York Wrestling Connection promotion in a No. 1 Contenders Battle Royal match for the NYWC Interstate Championship, which was won by Rob Echoes. On November 11, 2005 Nese made his in-ring debut under the ring name Matt Maverick in a losing effort against Spider. Nese won his first match on December 17, 2005 in a triple threat match defeating Spider and Amazing Red. Nese continued to wrestle for the promotion for several years, including shortening his ring name to Maverick before his independent wrestling career was jump-started after he competed in the 2008 ECWA Super 8 tournament, where he won the first round against Rob Echoes but lost in the semi-finals to Aiden Chambers. Nese would then later on compete in various dark matches for Ring of Honor, ROW, in 2009. Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling, 2011, 2012, 2013. Nese made his debut for Total Non-Stop Action, TNA, on the July 7, 2011, episode of Impact Wrestling as part of the X Division Showcase tournament. He was eliminated from the tournament after losing to Jack Evans in a three-way match that included Jesse Sorensen on August 18. TNA announced that Nese had signed a contract with the promotion. On that evening's episode of Impact Wrestling, he took part in a gauntlet match to determine the No. 1 contender to the X Division Championship, which he would be eliminated early in the match. Nese then did not appear on television for a while. He made his return on the December 15 episode of Impact Wrestling, where he would compete in a best-of-3 series with Zema Ion to determine the third and final challenger for the X Division Championship at Genesis. Nese would lose the first match of the series. On the December 22 edition of Impact Wrestling, Nese defeated Ion in the second round of the series. 2 weeks later, Nese lost to Ion in a contract on a pole match in the final round of the series. Nese appeared on the March 22, 2012 episode of Impact Wrestling, competing in Fatal 4-Way match that included Austin Aries, Kid Cash, and Zema Ion, which ended in a no contest. This would also mark Nese's final appearance in company. Nese was released from TNA on May 17, 2012 after asking permission to work a scheduled tag team match for Pro Wrestling Syndicate, which would include Nese teaming with Sami Callihan against the Great Muta and Kai. Nese was offered his release from TNA, which he accepted. Nese returned for one night only for the company's one-night-only pay-per-view show, Extravaganza, on January 12 the following year, competing in a tag team match in a losing effort. Return to independent circuit, 2012-2016. After departing from TNA, Nese returned to the independent wrestling circuit, continuing to appear for the New York Wrestling Connection promotion, also competing in several independent wrestling promotions including Pro Wrestling Syndicate. He started using his real name, Anthony Nese, as his ring name. Nese became the first PWS Tri-State Champion and was undefeated. He shortly feuded with Matt Hardy, defeating him in a match for the Tri-State title before eventually losing the title to Starman on November 9, 2012 in a triple threat match. On October 12, 2013, Nese defeated the FWE Tri-Borough champion Paul London in a non-title match. In early 2013, Nese began working for Dragon Gate USA and Evolve. On November 3, Nese began his first tour of Dragon Gate USA's Japanese parent promotion, Dragon Gate, unsuccessfully challenging Genki Horiguchi H.A.G.me for the Open the Brave Gate Championship. On November 9, 2013, at House of Hardcore 3, Nese defeated Alex Reynolds and Petey Williams. On December 8, 2013, Nese won the Family Wrestling Entertainment's Openweight Grand Prix. On September 14, 2014, at Evolve 35, Nese and Caleb Conley won the Open the United Gate Championship from the Bravado Brothers, Harlem and Lancelot, in a three-way match, also involving AR Fox and Rich Swann. At FWE Refueled Day 1, Nese and Jigsaw defeated Adrenaline Express to win the FWE Tag Team Championship. The following day, they lost the title to the Young Bucks. WWE Cruiserweight Classic and Main Roster Debut, 2016-2018. On June 11, 2016, at Evolve 63, Nese defeated Lince Dorado, Drew Gulak, Johnny Gargano, and T.J. Perkins to qualify for WWE's Cruiserweight Classic tournament. The tournament began on June 23, with Nese defeating Anthony Bennett in his first-round match. On July 14, Nese was eliminated from the tournament by Brian Kendrick. On the September 26 episode of Raw, Nese made his main roster debut, losing to Cruiserweight champion T.J. Perkins. On the October 3 episode of Raw, Nese won his first match on the main roster against Rich Swann. Nese made his pay-per-view debut on the Hell in a Cell pre-show, teaming with Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari in a losing effort to Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, and Sin Cara. On the Survivor Series pre-show, Nese, Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari lost to T.J. Perkins, Rich Swann, and Noam Dar. In early 2017, Nese would later wrestle on 205 Live and Main Event, trading wins and losses over Gran Metalik, Lince Dorado, and Mustafa Ali. Nese began aligning with Enzo Amore's faction, which consisting of Arya Daivari, Drew Gulak, and Noam Dar. They dubbed themselves as the Zo Train. On the December 12 episode of 205 Live, Nese was attacked by the Zo Train. Nese returned 2 weeks later, unsure of his position as a member of the Zo Train, and defeated Akira Tozawa. Amore was fired from WWE in January 2018, thus quietly disbanding the Zo Train. On the February 13 episode of 205 Live, Nese was entered into a Cruiserweight Championship tournament to determine a new Cruiserweight champion, where he was defeated by Drew Gulak in a first round. On the March 27 episode of 205 Live, Nese was defeated by Mark Andrews. On the April 10 episode of 205 Live, Nese saved Andrews from an attack of Drew Gulak, appearing to turn face in the process. On April 27, Nese participated in the Greatest Royal Rumble, entering at number 10, eliminating Hornswoggle, before being eliminated by Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Partnership with Buddy Murphy and Cruiserweight Champion, 2018 present. Some weeks later, he aligned himself with Buddy Murphy, cementing himself as a heel again. They went on to feud with Lucha House Party, Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado, with the two sides trading victories. On the October 10 episode of 205 Live, Nese defeated Cedric Alexander, who had recently lost the Cruiserweight Championship to Murphy. On the October 17 episode of 205 Live, Nese won a fatal 5-way match including Alexander, Gran Metalik, TJP, and Lio Rush. On the October 31 episode of 205 Live, Nese lost to Mustafa Ali in a number 1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Nese then began feuding with Noam Dar. On the January 29, 2019 episode of 205 Live, he was suspended indefinitely for attacking Dar in the parking lot. Nese returned on the February 12 episode of 205 Live, defeating Dar in a well-received no disqualification match, ending their feud. Prior to WrestleMania 35, a tournament to determine the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship was arranged, in which Nese defeated Kalisto in the first round, Drew Gulak in the semifinals, and Cedric Alexander in the finals to become the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship against his ally Buddy Murphy. After the match, he was attacked by Murphy, turning face in the process. On April 7, during the pre-show of WrestleMania 35, Nese defeated Murphy to win the Cruiserweight Championship for the first time. 2 days later, on the April 9 episode of 205 Live, Nese defeated Murphy to retain his championship. At Money in the Bank, Nese defeated Arya Daivari to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. On June 23 at the Stomping Grounds, Nese lost the title to Drew Gulak in a triple threat match which also involved Akira Tozawa, ending his reign at 77 days. He would go on to lose a subsequent rematch vs Gulak at Extreme Rules. Other media. Nese made his video game debut as a playable character in WWE 2K19. Personal life. Nese is married to a woman named Liz. They are currently expecting a baby boy. Championships and accomplishments.